Hello and welcome back to Radical Soil Care. So today I show you how to use my beautiful soil remedies. Homeopathy works in minuscule doses. For a bucket of mix, dilute 60 drops, which is 3 ml of the remedy with water in that bucket. If you want to use a spray bottle, dilute 40 drops, which is 2 ml in a spray bottle. Or if you want to use a spray tank up to 1,000 liters, dilute 30 ml directly into that spray tank. Here a quick conversion, there are approximately 20 drops in 1 ml. As you have noticed already, these amounts have absolutely nothing to do with maths. It is about energy distribution. Hence, it does not matter if it is a small or a large bucket, a small or a large spray bottle, or a small or a large spray tank. The dose stays the same. Stir the mix well before application, and if you use a spray tank, ideally you keep agitating the mix. A venturi works well. For weed additives, it is a bit different as they don't stand alone and need to be added to a carrier to do their work properly. The carriers are either the soil rescue or the soil consolidator. Add 20 drops of the weed additive into the soil rescue or soil consolidator mix for a bucket, 15 drops into a spray bottle, and 10 ml into a spray tank up to 1,000 liters. Now the application rate, and this might be surprising for some. The application rate of the mix can be as small as 1 droplet per square foot. This is easily achieved by using a brush. A toilet brush works fabulously, or a branch to dunk, flick or wave. It goes a bit like this. For spraying with a spray tank, ideally use a coarse nozzle. Why? Because the larger the drops, the better. We want large, heavy drops because they sink in rather than having a spray film lying on top of your plant matter. Hence, flicking a brush or very coarse nozzle for a spray tank are ideal. By the way, you will be surprised. You can cover surprisingly large areas on foot with just a brush and a bucket real quick. Spray bottles are ideal when using soil rescue while planting or repotting. Just apply several squirts onto the root ball. Also suitable for treating injured trees or even after pruning, just spray onto the cuts or any injuries lightly. Or if you have punnets of seedlings, you can dunk them straight into the soil rescue mix for a good drench. Now, super important, please use rainwater or tank water, never town water for diluting the remedies. The chemicals in the town water interfere with homeopathic remedies. If rainwater is not available, fill town water into open containers like buckets and let it air for at least 24 hours to allow some of the chemicals to dissipate. And please, never, ever use any tools that have been in contact with chemical fertilizers, herbicides or pesticides. That will kill the remedy straight away. Also, please avoid contamination of the remedy by touching or dropping the dropper that gets placed back into the bottle. So, how often do we apply the remedies? Well, the answer is as often as you like. There's one exception, that's the soil activator. The soil activator is so powerful, it can become destructive when used too often. Just check out my video, How to Choose Your Soil Remedy, where I explain this in a little bit more detail. The remainder of the remedies apply at least twice a year, beginning of spring and autumn, or up to 4 times a year when the seasons change, or again as often as you like. You will get a feeling for the remedies after a while, and you may find sometimes that another dose might be helpful. So if using soil rescue, use as often as you see fit. It can be ongoing, like in a market garden or general garden setting, for example. Many people like bringing out soil remedies as it is quite meditative. Ideally, apply early in the morning or late in the afternoon, right before or during a light shower, or when the dew is setting is absolutely perfect. Please avoid direct sunshine in the middle of the day, as this will fry even the sturdiest of applications. But Having said all of that, perfection is futile, and a remedy on the shelf is doing absolutely nothing. So don't wait for the perfect conditions, you being available at the same time. Do what you can and apply when you have the time to do so. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. Always better than not doing it at all. The remedies are entirely safe to use and can be applied in and near waterways or while animals and people are present. No protective gear is needed and withholding periods do not apply. All soil remedies can be sprayed out together with natural, organic or biodynamic formulas and do of course fabulously on their own. Storage. Now, like any other homeopathic remedy, please store your remedies in a cool, dark place at least 2 meters away from electric appliances, especially microwaves. Keep away from direct sunshine and please do not store in the fridge. For the biodynamically inclined, soil remedies can be added to any biodynamic preparation or used on their own. They greatly benefit from running through a free flow form, by vortex stirring or any other water energizing tool you might use. Now when we work with soil remedies, we work in 2 steps. First is activation, second consolidation. One exception is heavy metal contamination. Due to the nature of those metals present, an activation as such is not needed. Start straight away with a heavy metal support. So when I work with soil for the first time, I want to wake up soil biology and remind it of what it is capable of. I mostly use the soil rescue for that. The soil activator can also be suitable for this step, but it comes with that caveat because the activator is that powerful that it actually can backfire when used too often. Basically, it's a one-off. You might repeat it once 6 months after the first application. Definitely not suitable for frequent use. So let's say where the soil rescue is a hug, the activator is a cup of coffee. 10 cups of coffee. So not suitable after extended soil trauma like drought, floods or bushfire recovery. The soil rescue is especially helpful when the soil has been hammered, chemically or otherwise abused, recovering from drought, floods or bushfires, and also when GMO is involved. So in short, when I find that the soil needs a cup of coffee, I use the activator. When it is in need of a hug and healing, I use the soil rescue, which is usually the case. If in doubt, or you don't want to be bothered by all this information, use the soil rescue. Once you notice a recovery in your soil, you can switch from activation to consolidation. It's like moving your soil from the ER to the ward using the soil consolidator. If you're not certain if your soil is ready to move to the ward just yet, keep using the soil rescue until you are. You can use the rescue indefinitely, as said before, especially when conditions are very challenging, like recovery from drought, flood or bushfire, and certainly when GMO is involved. So if in doubt, use the soil rescue. Now last but certainly not least, let's talk a bit about the power of intent. Our attitude while we are treating soil has an impact on the outcome. This might sound strange to some, but the research of Dr. Masaru Emoto and his colleagues has clearly demonstrated that thought has an effect on the molecular structure of water. He explains and demonstrates this with amazing photographs in his book, The Hidden Messages of Water. Quantum physics and my science crush Albert Einstein take the same approach. The sheer act of observation is changing the structure and behavior of what is observed, proven by the double slit experiment. So simply put, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Anyone who's biodynamically inclined will have heard about Rudolf Steiner's journey into the power of thought on matter, well, and ultimately on soil. So what does that mean in practical terms for us? What do I do on a Monday morning? Well, basically, being present with our soil and the intended outcome when we spread our remedies, and any other input for that matter, improves the effect. Gratitude and appreciation do change structures on a molecular level, which is proven by the work of the likes of Dr. Masaru Emoto. This is a very interesting subject to look into. Just give it a try. Nothing's lost by feeling grateful for the land that provides for us. One of my favorite rabbit holes. So now, if you still have questions, just send me an email. You find me on radicalsoilcare.com, where you also find more info about the Soil Remedies and, of course, my Soil Remedy shop. So thank you so very much for watching, and see you there. Bye-bye.